Well, I got a cease and desist email from the Kris Jenner Bulldog attorneys that I'll clearly be ignoring. It's not defamatory if it's true. They had the nerve to say Kimoji lost $244,000 in his email. This seems like more BS or to show a loss for taxes since they sell stuff with the Kimoji name on it to this day. They didn't address Centigram yet either. I cannot roll my eyes hard enough. Anyone else out there with horror stories of working with the Kardashian Jenner family, whether you worked for them, partners with them, whatever the case may be, and you have proof of your own, please reach out. Flag me down, email, comment, DM, whatever. There's very large backing that they will take care of all legal, all threats of lawsuit. If you have confidentiality, they will back it. This is a major movement now. Please come forward. Well, my Instagram page just got deleted. Looks like the Hollywood Mafia is working overtime. I'm working on getting it back, but in the meantime, you guys can please go follow my backup page, D. Liebensohn, same as my TikTok. I appreciate you guys. Breaking news, guys. Another Kris Jenner victim has come forward. This person will remain anonymous until certain protections are in place. This person lives week to week when they should be retired. It's pretty sad. This could be your grandparent. They had a successful business prior to their partnership with the Kris Jenners. They can't go one day without thinking about it. And trust me, I get that. They're unavoidable whether we like it or not. I know there are a lot more victims out there, so please come forward and help us show this pattern of unethical and predatory business practices.
Welcome to the Lauren Blackwell channel. So Ray J is being sued by the Kardashians for defamation. And you may have heard, but this is because Ray J has been talking a lot about the Kardashians and how the fact that the Love Doctor was sued for racketeering was a shock to him, because he believes that the person or people that should be sued for racketeering should be the Kardashians, maybe more Kris and Kim than the others, based on what he said. So Ray J has been talking for a while now about how the way that the Kardashians have treated him and his sister has been very unfair, and he said a lot of things. He also mentioned the sex tape between himself and Kim, and it came to light a few years ago that Kris had more to do with the planning of that tape than they have let people believe. So according to Ray J, the way that they do business is such that they are trying to silence him, they are trying to bribe him, and they do business in a way that is illegal and should be looked at from a legal standpoint, which is why he said he is working with the feds to bring some sort of charges against the Kardashian. Now, initially when he said this on TMZ. I did not think that he was actually going to try to bring charges or, working with the feds to bring charges on the Kardashians. I just thought he was suggesting that the Kardashians are more liable for something like that kind of a charge, than the Love Doctor. But it turns out he is actually working actively with the government to bring charges against them. I don't know if this is a new development, this whole thing of him working to bring charges against them after they sued him, or if he plans to do this all along. Because why did he wait all of this time to do this? Anyway, that's neither here nor there. There are different reasons why people wait to file lawsuits. But yes, it looks like the Kardashians are taking this seriously, because they have filed a defamation lawsuit against him, saying that he is defaming their character and ruining their reputation. And it does not look like Ray J is backing down, because he is now even being louder about it and showing all of this paperwork to prove his point. There is so much to say about the relationship between Ray J and the Kardashians, which goes way back to when Kim used to work for Brandy. She was Brandy's stylist, I believe, at some point. And there was this whole thing where Brandy authorized Kim to use her credit card, to make certain purchases, which makes sense. You know, she's her stylist, so she's gonna have access to some sort of payment method from Brandy to make certain purchases. So Brandy authorized Kim to use her credit card to make certain purchases, and around this time the Kardashians opened their store called Dash, and it looks like, at least according to what I have heard, which I cannot verify this to be true or not, but according to what I have heard, what happened was that Kim and some of the other Kardashians took Brandy's card and spent a lot of money in their store, in Dash, the Kardashian store, to make purchases, and they just used a lot more than they were authorized to use. And according to Ray J, Kim or some other members of the Kardashians spent or stole about $850,000 from Brandy, and from the Norwood family. And because of that, the whole thing went to court. This was some years ago, and the Kardashians were ordered to pay, I think, over $700,000. So it must have been that they were found guilty of something, so because they didn't settle, it went to court, and as far as I know, they went to court and they were ordered to pay this amount, which is quite a significant amount, at least to them at that time. So even though the payment was eventually made, prior to it going to court and them sorting it out, the Kardashians did try to deny that any of this happened, because it would have been a bad look for them. But they even went as far as putting out a statement to deny everything, but it turns out that it was true, and they had to pay the amounts that Ray J stated, which was around $700,000. Now, as far as the tape with Kim and Ray J said that Kris organized that and she had a lot to do with the planning, but when it came out and it became this huge scandal, the Kardashians tried to play victim a little bit. They certainly did not come out and let people know that they planned it and it was like a family business, like a stepping stone. They didn't say all of that. So a lot of the blame was put on Ray J, and none of the blame was put on the Kardashians. And eventually it came out that the Kardashians actually have a lot more to do with the planning of that. Ray J has that paperwork. He was waving it around. It looks like he's going to be including that in the shady dealings of the Kardashians as well. And then I just remembered that there is a guy, this was a couple of years ago, he came out with Kimoji and he was all over TikTok. He even built a website. I'm going to see if I can get into the website, if it's still in existence, and put some pictures so that you guys can see. He had a website built where he talked about how Kim Kardashian tried to ruin his life and tried to threaten him into giving up his creation, which is Kimoji, because Kim wanted it as part of her emoji business on her app. And so he said he was threatened a lot, and because they have more resources and more influence than he does, he had no choice but to do what they wanted him to do and to give up his creation. This guy's name is Daniel, and he was a software engineer, and he, along with two other men, Narayan and the other guy's name is also called Daniel, they were working on developing an app called Sensorgram. And this was a few years ago, around 2014. The app is supposed to protect users from harassment. It's a way to use social media while protecting them from harassment from others. And while they were developing that app, they were also developing some emoji content, and this is what caught Kim's eyes. So to summarize, Kim's team reached out to Daniel and they agreed to work together. They were supposed to get 60% of any profits, while Kim's team gets 40% from the Kimoji content, and then from the Sensorgram, because Kim was also interested in owning part of Sensorgram, which the guys developed. They were going to split that 50-50. So the guy, this Daniel guy that is now claiming that Kim Kardashian ruined his life, according to him, a member of his team used some data that they were not authorized to use. It was Kim's data that they were not authorized to use while they were in the process of working out the details of this agreement that they have with Kim, right? So because of that, Kim became very upset, and according to Daniel, their agreement fell apart. And when it fell apart, Kim took a lot of the content that Daniel and his team had developed, and the team were not paid for it by Kim's team. And according to him, Kim's team just sort of took everything as if they owned it. So Daniel decided to sue. I think he sued for about $300 million. But you know, a lawsuit like this takes time and it costs a lot of money, a whole lot of money. There is no way that this software engineer was going to compete with the Kardashians when it comes to resources and paying attorneys. So he had to let it go. He could no longer pay his attorney's fees. That is, I believe, one of the main reasons why he could no longer pursue this lawsuit. Now, whether or not things happened exactly the way the guy said, I don't know. But this is how he told the story. He lost everything to Kim and he is not happy about it. He said he feels triggered whenever he hears anything about the Kardashians. It's not funny because this is like, you know, his life's work. And he, according to him, he is in a much worse place now than he previously was before he decided to work with Kim Kardashian. And the worst part of this is that when they were developing this app and people got to know of it, they had a lot of investors that were interested in their work, but they decided to go with the Kardashians because they have a huge following and they thought that it would bring even more attention to their work. And that was why they chose to work with Kim. And that did not work out for them the way they anticipated. So he decided to create this website that he called KimKardashianRuinedMyLife.com. It's kind of tricky to get into the website. I did not go in the website. I tried, but there's this weird virus warning thing that pops up. So I was like, okay, I'm just not gonna do that. So I did not go into the website. I don't know if it's functional or not. I know the guy is still on social media though, this Daniel guy. After he lost his lawsuit, lost his house, lost his family, he claims that this has caused him to lose a lot. According to him, he said, "I want it to be fully known what happened to me. I just had to put it on a website and tell a cohesive story. I blame them for all of this. Because before I met them, I was on a positive trajectory. After that, everything I had worked for started to go downhill to the point where I'm now sleeping in my car. They are 1000% to blame." And he is referring to Kim Kardashian's team. So yeah, that's one more questionable thing that Who knows? It might rear its ugly head again if Ray J continues along this path and actually decides to gather the information to file the racketeering charge against Kim. So I don't know, like I said earlier, if what this Daniel guy has said is true. I don't know if what Ray J is saying is true. But if these things are accompanied by some sort of proof, then it's going to even taint the reputation of the Kardashians even more. If you guys remember, Forbes also had to come out and say that Kylie was not really a billionaire like she claimed, and initially they listed her as a billionaire. This was like around 2021, I believe, and she was listed on the list of billionaires, but they came out later with a retractment of their statement saying that she's not really a billionaire. And we also heard the rumor about her inflating her her net worth basically for her brand prior to selling it to a group of investors, and all of that can be qualified as racketeering, because when I looked up the exact definition or explanation of racketeering, it is a broad legal term that refers to organized criminal activity carried out to earn a profit, often through illegal business practices or coercion. Common types of racketeering include extortion, money laundering, bribery, fraud, drug trafficking, illegal gambling, loan sharking, murder for hire, human trafficking. These are pretty serious crimes, which I do not believe that the Kardashians are involved in all of this. I think, if anything, they are probably involved in doctoring their papers, because why else will Forbes come out and say that Kylie was not really a billionaire? And I'm going to say, from what Daniel have described, if what he said is true, which I don't know that it is, but if it is true, then it's kind of illegal business practice to cause someone to, lose their life's work the way that he did. Although he did say a member of his team did breach a part of the contracts that they had with Kim, so I'm not sure how he can then blame Kim for the steps that she took afterwards. People read contracts, they sign them, but for some reason they think that when they breach the contract they're going to get a second chance to do things properly, but the other party does not have to give you that grace. If you breach it once, they can just either take you to court or take whatever they can take from you, and who knows, that might be what the Kardashians did after he breached the contract with them. So yeah, so far all of this is what I have been able to pull regarding what I think the Kardashians are doing and what Ray J may be referring to. Personally, I don't think this is going to go anywhere. I think this is just going to be a whole lot of noise. Ray J is going to make a bunch of noise about this. They're going to sue each other back and forth. Maybe a little bit of money is going to be paid, and then that will be it. They will agree to keep each other's names out of their mouths or something like that. But I don't think that this is going to go much further. I feel as though Ray J has been poking at the Kardashians for a while now. If you guys remember the music video that he released, I think where he was saying he hit it first, and stuff like that. He's kind of been poking at them for some years, and they never really responded, but at least not legally. But now they are responding legally, and they're claiming that he is defaming their character. It's kind of hard to argue on either side of this. I think they're both just I don't know, being annoyed by each other and making a lot of noise. I don't think anything's gonna come of this, but we'll see how it goes. Ray J is now saying that he's working with the feds though to bring charges upon them. We don't know how far he's going to go with that though. But that's all I have on Ray J and the Kardashians and this lawsuit that may or may not be looming above them. Thank you guys for watching. I will keep you guys updated if I find out any more information. See you guys next time.